One of the best fights I have ever seen in UFC history was between two gentlemen, Alexander Gustaffson and Jon Jones. Now, before I get into that, I'm going to tell you my top three. Number 3 on that list just happened in 2018. It was Yoel Romero versus Robert Whittaker Part 2. Phenomenal fight. I really enjoyed it. Number 2 on that list of my top 3 is Bigfoot Silva and Mark Hunt. But the number 1 is definitely Gus and Jones. When they met, if you think about it, when they met, that fight was billed as greatness within reach. And that was because up until that point, Johnny Bones was destroying everybody, right? And he was a lot taller and a lot longer as far as reach than any of his opponents. So he was making world champions. Who did he beat? Lyoto Machida, Shogun. I mean, you name it. He was beating the names. Rampage, Sugar Rashad. He made them look like amateurs. Great men in their own right. And so they pull up this guy named Gus. And at the time, he had racked up a couple victories, but I didn't think that he was anybody that we really needed to worry about. He got a title shot because Jones was cleaning out the division, and they billed it as greatness within reach, and I hated it. I hated the idea of it because you don't build up a title fight just because somebody's tall. Stephen Struve's tall. He's been in the picture more or less because of him being tall. Now, he has a decent win streak or whatever, but if you've ever seen Stephen Struve fight, it isn't knock your socks off. He's okay. He's okay for a really, really tall, lanky guy. But that's what they were billing this as. And so I go to Hooters that night and I watch the fight. You know, Hooters has free UFC every time there's a big card. Anytime there's any type of match, you can watch it at Hooters. So if you didn't know that, you can thank me later. Most places don't even have a cover charge. There's some, I live here in Baltimore, there's some places that do have a little cover charge. There's some that don't. So feel free to check that out at Hooters near you. I don't even get paid for that. That's definitely a promo to them. Somebody need to cut me a check. But back to the fight. So I'm in there. And it was raucous. The crowd, the energy, we were standing. It was standing room only in there, right? Wings and beers all over the place. And it turned out to be one of the greatest bouts I've ever seen. Neither was scared. Both were the aggressor. Both were highly skilled, highly tactical. And it wasn't like Johnny had like a bad day. He was being Johnny Bones Jones. It just wasn't as effective as it had been. That spin around back elbow, he landed it a few times. Gus ate it. I mean, and not only did he just eat it, Gus was ducking and parrying and popping them. And it was this one time that he grabbed Johnny's leg and swooped him like an amateur with the other leg. Like nobody's ever done. John's too smart for that. He, as a fighter. Now, his decisions outside the cage, you can talk about that if you want to. I'm talking about inside that octagon, his ring awareness is sublime, right? He's phenomenal. So Johnny had never been taken down. I think he was taken down 3, maybe 4 times in that whole fight. Shattered his takedown defense percentage. It went from 100% to whatever it is now. In addition to that, Gus even did the spinning back elbow to John. I think Gus won the first round. Johnny had the second round. No. If I remember correctly, you guys can research and let me know. I think Gus won the first and second round. Jones won the third and fourth round. And the fifth round was such... And so the judges gave it to Johnny. He earned it. Stat scores, whatever it was. But I can tell you this, when it happened, we didn't know. The people, and we are fight fans, like a bunch of us that go to Hooters, we are fight fans. I didn't know. I wanted Johnny Bones to win. I didn't know if he did. And so when they announced it, and still, I was blown away. Some people were mad. Some people were angry. Some people were about to get in a fight. There was arguments happening about whether or not we just witnessed what we thought we saw. It was phenomenal. Jones was busted up. Gus had some knots. He had some cuts. He didn't look like Jones. Johnny Bones Jones' lip was this fat. It's a picture of them posing in a hospital later. Gus standing up, Jones in a wheelchair. It was just that type of fight. As a matter of fact, although he's beat DC Cormier, Jones, although he has beaten all of the other fighters, and although he won that fight, he's gone on record numerous times saying that the legacy fight for him, the fight that means that the fight that he wants to close a chapter on, is Gustaffson. That means something to him. So those of us who thought we saw what we saw, we wasn't crazy. Jones saw it too. At least he thought he experienced it just how we thought we experienced it. Now we're in a situation that brings us to today. DC just won the championship. He's the heavyweight and light heavyweight champion. I personally don't want to see DC ever go back down to light heavyweight. I want to see what I would love to see is him hold the belt for a while and then vacate it. Like, take the pictures, do the parades, hold them both. Give a lot of gratitude to Conor McGregor, who kicked this door wide open for anybody to be able to do it. Because you remember, not only did they not want to bring him his belt when he won, they had to find it somewhere. It wasn't even prepared for him. They had to go get it and find it for him somewhere. Not too long after that, they stripped him of it. He wasn't allowed to hold both of the belts. It was a big deal. You know, he was like, man, they didn't strip me. I don't care. I don't care what Dana says. They didn't strip me. I'm still the champ. You remember that? And now you fast forward several months and it's okay. It's just what we do. Now, mind you, it was after Conor kicked another door open and got that mega fight with Floyd Mayweather, which Anderson Silva and the phenomenal boxer who fights like him, Roy Jones Jr., they were trying to have a boxing match for a long time, and the two teams couldn't come together. UFC wasn't really being complicit. The boxing world wasn't really being complicit. It was some stuff. So Conor kicked open another door, making it possible for UFC fighters to have a boxing career. Now you see people like MVP over there in Bellator kicking butt, fighting his style, being both a boxer and a cage fighter at the same time. Reminds me of the days where Bo Jackson was a running back, and he also played baseball. Same thing with Deion Sanders. Kicking down barriers. That's what it's all about. Progressing. So Daniel Cormier needs to live in the limelight of having both of these belts. But I think being a light heavyweight is unhealthy for his body. And every time I've ever seen him fight at light heavyweight, he just didn't look healthy physiologically. Did he win? He's only lost to Jon Jones. Yes, he won. The only person that really gave him any trouble was Gus. But I think that the way he performs at heavyweight, you guys have seen the highlights, you've watched the fights. He is a phenomenal heavyweight. And he's like an okay light heavyweight. I don't know how that works. It is what it is. Right? So I would like to see him hold on for the belts for a while, vacate that light heavyweight belt, and let an interim title, something happen situation. I want Gus to win it, and I would love to see Johnny Bones Jones come back and challenge the Mauler for that light heavyweight title. But you want to know the kicker? I hope Gus beats him. I hope Gus retains. And then I hope, even with him retaining, it sets him up for that trilogy. And I'm open to whoever wins that. I really like Johnny Bones Jones, but I really like Gus too. I think that'll be phenomenal. What are your thoughts? This is RCB Fight Talk. Listen, if you like this sort of thing, I have all sorts of commentary like this, stuff that I think about in my head. Hit subscribe. I'll put more videos up. Remember to thumbs up this video. Put your comments below. Look forward to seeing you guys on the other side. Thank you.